I played through Alpharad's ROM hack Super Mariomon and 100%ed the game. This includes doing every quest, completing every capture, and becoming the champion and beating the secret bosses at the end of the game. Come and join me on this journey to 100% Mariomon, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy, and let's jump into the challenge. We start the game with our heroes playing Super Mario Bros. 3 before getting a call about the cap challenge, when we meet Professor Egad on World 1-1, with a choice of the grass-type piranha plant, the water-type blooper, and the fire-type Bob-omb as our starter capture. I choose the fire-type, and as much as I wanted to press self-destruct, I didn't want to take the first loss in the challenge to Luigi, getting caps which work as Pokeballs, and the Tattle Dex which is the Pokedex. And this is where I start capturing all of the things in this game. Okay, I won't make that joke anymore, that was terrible. Capturing an Antrooper, Goomba, Koopa Trooper, and a Twirlip on the first route. Getting the hammer to break blocks before hitting Toad Town. Not with the hammer of course, but actually getting there. And the best part of this Tattle Dex is that it not only shows you the locations and movesets and other information for the Pokemon that you catch. I'm going to keep calling them Pokemon because calling them captures is just too confusing. You can see when and how they evolve, so via level or via shells which work as evolution stones. This is very helpful, especially when I can use the cap candy on them to make them hit the current gym's level cap, making them easier to grind up and evolve. But this candy is at the expense of the capture's EVs, which is why I did battle the trainers in World 1-2 after moving on from Toad Town. Moving forward to Peach's castle grounds, getting the old rod to start fishing, reeling in a Cheep Cheep and a Skeeter. And in the grass on the grounds I caught a Nipper, that's nip, like nipple, Dino Torch, and Buzzy Beetle. We can also shout Fuzzy Pickles, and end up on the Blue Sky thanks to the camera lacquer too. You guys remember Blue Sky, right? That Twitter alternative that everyone used for about a week. Upon entry to the castle, Toadsworth tests how well we know how to battle each capture, before we can battle Princess Peach for the first Power Star, which is essentially the gym badge. After showing him that I kinda know what I'm doing, I do have a YouTube channel with Pokemon videos on them, which you need to subscribe to. We go to battle the princess before being interrupted by King Koopa himself, Bowser, and his minion Kamek. He's instructed Kamek to help build him a team to battle us, so that he can get all the Power Stars himself, but he has no idea what he's doing. Maybe he should watch my videos. But then again, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I also have no idea what I'm doing. He eventually just says screw it and ends up sending himself into battle, before falling and instructing Kamek to start building him a team that even Wolfie Glick would be proud of. This means we can now battle against Peach, as we have proven ourselves to be a confident battler. But I went behind her and entered her garden. Pause. Capturing Beanie, Sprangler, Boo, and a Shy Guy. She had all of those things in her garden? Girl, you need to do something about that. Go see a doctor or something. Maybe you should use today's sponsor, Womanscaped, for trimming your George Bush. This now leads us to battle against her for the first Power Star, sending out things she isn't keeping in her nether regions. This includes a Crazy D. Wait a second. No, this battle is just getting a bit too absurd. Eventually we do win the battle, not only getting the first of 8 Power Stars, but we now get an increase in our level cap. But before we can make use of that, Toadsworth meets us before we can leave and gifts us with the PSS system, which is a portable PC system, and the green spotted egg for us to hatch. Using those cap candies with this increase also allows us to hit our first evolution threshold of the game, evolving Bob-omb into Chuckya, and Antrooper into Horned Ant, running around a little bit and hatching the egg into a baby Yoshi. It's so cute! But its back sprite looks so smug. Now we can travel to World 2, but not before Luigi tries to battle us, in which he gets stomped flat, right before we go and battle his girlfriend in Daisy. World 2 is the Cloud Kingdom, and in World 2-1 we capture a Biddy Bud, which sounds like a Diddy Blood, an Ooh, that's literally it, its name's just Ooh, a Crazy Daisy, and a Spiny. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not really an exciting world as we reach Cloudcap Town, trading for a Podoboo which may look weak, but evolves into a capture that the developers actually had to nerf as it was so strong. Passing through to World 2-2, and Bowser and his minions are making it their mission to stop us, setting up turrets of bullet bills, of which they get the red Gyarados treatment, as they are guaranteed shinies. Obviously I capture one, also obtaining a Firefly, Toadie, and a Fuzzy, and get to Daisy's Cruiser. This is where we can battle Daisy for the second Power Star, but not before Bowser tries to stop me again, since his turret idea didn't work as planned. We defeated his team and himself to enter the gym, where I have to score a goal through this wall of electricity, and I, like many others playing this, just pressed buttons until it worked, eventually scoring a long-range screamer that even Ronaldo would be proud of against Daisy. Her team consists of ground types like Monty Mole and Twister, and since you haven't ingested the elephant mushroom, I doubt Zack Scott Games is gonna come and help you. Hi, I'm Daisy. Well, hi, I'm Supri123, and you've just been defeated for the next Power Star. That honestly sounded so much cooler in the script. I just have zero way of articulating being cool. I mean, listen to me. Do I sound like I'm particularly cool? Our level cap is now 24, and this means I can do a fair few evolutions. Starting with Koopa Trooper into Paratrooper, and with a space in the party akin to Shedinja, we can get a Dry Bones. Nipper evolves into Muncher, Buzzy Beetle into Spike Top, Sprangler into Tarantox, Firefly into Superfly, Boo into Balloon Boo, Skeeter into Scuttlebug, which thankfully is a level up evolution and we don't need to charge up speed for 12 hours, Cheep Cheep into Cheep Chomp, Baby Yoshi into Yoshi, Goomba into Goomstack, and Bidybud into Parabiddy. Also adding to the Tattle Dex by catching Tough Puff in the Cloud World, going back to the Warp Zone and getting back into the main Warp Zone, also getting a new invention which is a portable warp pipe, so we can fast travel anywhere from anywhere. And speaking of going places, we get a choice between World 3 or 4, obviously picking World 3 because I love continuity. This is kind of a beach-like area, being able to catch the likes of Stroll and Stew, a Minion, no not those little yellow minions, it's a different Minion, and a Cadaquack. After a nice beach stroll finding the best place to drink a beer, we reach Diamond City, and it's kind of like the Lumio City of this game where you need a taxi service and a map to get through the town. I started a new quest by trading away my Minion for a Goomba, one of Bowser's minions. And yes, as I stated in the intro, I will be completing all of the quests. I didn't put 100% completion in the title for nothing. I went into some random building that I wasn't even filming properly, and got a cutscene with Wario to collect the passwords at 3 different locations. Our first location is the Trainer School, studying in Toadsworth Classroom, and battling an integrated battle facility. The battle facility we have to go through is just like the Battle Factory in Emerald, going through with rental teams and eventually battling Penny, shortly defeating her and a team of Dr. Mario viruses to get the first password of 3. Before entering the haunted house, we battle Luigi, and his team has only slightly improved from the last time we fought, but honestly, not too much. Inside the house, we meet the owner Ashley, and fall through the floor. We can get some wild encounters here, even catching an Eerie. At the end of the dark basement, we have something much scarier than ghosts waiting for us, and that is a puzzle where I have to count. After somehow making it through because I am an impatient YouTuber, we get to battle Ashley, and she has a really cool team of ghosts. I think I just really like ghost types in this game. Winning with my own ghost balloon to get the second password, and heading to the final area. This is Club Sugar, and we get to battle Jimmy Beast. In order to battle Jimmy, we have to copy his funky dance moves and face him in combat. I'm much better at the combat side of this, however, because as a white male, I have 0 dancing skill. He loves to swap his team around because they're boogieing, baby, obviously taking inspiration from Tiano in X and Y, which is a rival that everyone remembers and everyone will enjoy looking at in Legends EA. We get the win, eventually, and get the final password, being able to enter Uncle Wario's sketchy shed. Beforehand, I wanted to add some captures to my decks, getting evolution shells from the department store, and evolving Crazy D into Amazy D. Your mum says I've got an Amazy D. And Twirlip into Spindrift. Breaking into Wario's room where he is trying to produce a ROM hack of his own called Pyoromon. But the coding goes haywire and we have to battle Red? Obviously Wario's own original creation. Is it even correct to call this Red? Because he uses Pokemon that the champion from Red and Blue would use, so this is more like Blue's team. But regardless of that, we use the wonders of technology to defeat Red, and then we have to battle Wario, who has Dark types. He also has a Pyro on his team, which is obviously where he's getting the inspiration for this ROM hack from. Defeating him and getting the third Power Star after he just disappears somewhere. I think he explodes, I don't really know. And here we go to World 4, but a new level cap means more evolutions. Cheap Chomp evolves into Porcupuff. Snyguy evolves into Sniffit. Dino Torch into Dino Rhino. Toadie into Magikoopa. Bullet Bill into Bonsai Bill, and of course it's shiny. Beanie into Parabeanie. And Spiny into Lakitu. But before we head to World 4, Kamek wants to test out his own battling. And he may be a bit better than Bowser, but it doesn't really make a difference because Bowser uses Kamek's teams anyway. World 4-1 has its own currency in purple coins, so we have to battle trainers to get some. But while I'm here, I can get the good rod and capture a Fishbone. And in the grass on the rainy route, I capture a Shrublet, Spike, Heave-Ho, and a Jabble. In the nearby resting spot, the Goombas and Koopas are having a gang war much like the Bloods and Crips, but probably with less shootouts. Me siding with the Goombas, big up the Goomba Massive. This rest stop also allows us entry into Main Street, where the next gym is, but for a very high price. And rather than spending all my coins, I find a Koopa who has a special surfing shell that we'll need to use to get around the city and gain entrance from elsewhere, leading us into World 4-2, catching a Phanto, Ghost Mouse, and a Happy Moon, and this is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. This route has a lot of trees to navigate, but eventually we hit a gem-filled cavern, which is the entrance to the city. This is where they've been mining, but here I'd rather get some captures rather than diamonds and pearls. I caught Bandit, Fang, Starbag, and Brolder, also collecting a lot of purple coins from the numerous trainers on the way, giving us a really healthy balance for the next gym, which is based off of the game corner. Using some of the coins, I get more additions to my ever-growing Tattle Dex in Mecha Koopa. But now, it's time to go through the sliding fall puzzle in the game corner. Did Team Rocket create this game corner much like they did in Kanto? Maybe Wario and Waluigi have something to do with Team Rocket. I mean, they are the villains of the Mario franchise. And yeah, I don't think I mentioned, but the gym leader is Waluigi. Also, before this gym, I should have probably gone to start the Loan Shark side quest to get a lot more coins rather than using my own that I've accumulated, but this does prove that it's possible and you don't need to do that quest. We reached the end and battle Waluigi, and that was a really easy battle. Most of his team was fairly easy apart from his Porcupuff, which I do have on my team because it is a defensive monster. That took quite a while to take down. But once we took that out, the rest of his team felt like dominoes. But with that, we get the 4th Power Star already halfway through the story, and we snort some of Waluigi's magic powder to make our way back to the entrance. How we got here? Consult the powder. Starting another section with the increased level capped based evolutions, and my Balloon Boo evolves into King Boo, well more like a Queen Boo seeing as it's female, Chuckya into King Bob-omb, so I've got a King and a Queen, Brolder into Big Brolder, Fang to Swoop, Ghost Mouse into Twirler, Spike into Clubber, Shrublet into Shroom, and then into Shroomoid, a 3-stage evolution from 1 level up, Tough Puff to Huff and Puff, Podobo into Blarg, Foo into Typhoo, and Jabble into Jabby. And now the purple coin area is complete, I started the Loan Shark quest getting an extra 5,000 purple coins, spending them in the game corner on a Lil Sparky. With our new shell surfing abilities, we can explore some new locations, including backtracking to Toad Town and accessing the sewer system, capturing a lava drop, a Freezy, and a Bald Cleft on our journey down to the deeper floors, where we can get the evolution of the Bald Cleft into Iron Cleft, and Bruiser before being locked off via breaking floor puzzles only passable with the Muck Bike equivalent. I guess I have to carry on into World 5, the jungle-themed world meeting Bowser, who tricks Luigi with a whole "oh, woe is me" storyline before going to access the further areas of the jungle, after using Captain Toad as our own personal Google Translate, as he can translate the monkey language. The monkey guards are named after professors from the Pokemon games, also catching an Ukiki somewhere, I don't know where the footage is for this, and a Klepto, that annoying bird from the desert areas in Mario. Why isn't he in the desert then? Regardless, Captain Toad helps us traverse this puzzle jungle through the power of something, even using his own team to battle the opponents. This is quite a cool section and apparently had a lot of glitches when in development, but being able to swap between characters, completing puzzles like this, is something really interesting and I quite like. We hit the rest area as Luigi tries to explain all the intricacies of Mariomon to Bowser, but Bowser just wants to get rich with the golden bananas. Luigi is basically talking to a brick wall. Entering World 5-2 and Bowser and his minions decide to blow Captain Toad out of a cannon. I had to say out of a cannon then, otherwise that would have been a very different sentence. Captain Toad cannot help us anymore, so without him I just catch a Trunkle and an Uproot and carry on, soon being able to solve the second set of Toad puzzles. This takes us to the Kong Kingdom where the next Power Star resides, but firstly I have to stop Bowser, eventually making our way through the Safari Zone. And it's not like your typical Pokemon Safari Zone, as this one there are battles and puzzles with Captain Toad, something that the Pokemon series has been really lacking in. This area is also home to some really nice captures like Yoshi, Rex, and a T-Rex, a literal dinosaur, an entire dinosaur, on this island. I think they've made numerous movies about why this is a bad idea. We battle Bowser in a wild battle, which isn't a double battle, it's completely different. And after saving the day, we are now able to battle the Donkey of the Kongs, Seth Rogen, for our next boss. I thought DK would have ground types, hence why I backtracked to get a blue shell, evolving Freezy into Mr. Blizzard, only to not use it in the end. Rather using Happy Moon in what was a pretty easy battle all things considered, giving us the 5th Power Star and a leaflet to Cranky Kong's Comedy Club. That is a really hard tongue twister to say. A hilarious night of cackles and goofs is just what we needed after what has been a long and tough journey so far. We increased the level cap again, but I'm honestly just gonna stop doing the evolutions until the end of the game, as it was getting quite tedious to do after every boss battle. Deciding to move on with the game and actually complete this game and video. Another blockade before going to World 6 is the Purple Coin Bandits, who want me to repay my debt, but much like the TV license man, I just beat them to a pulp and leave them on the streets to die. Now being able to access the desert world, capturing the desert staple in Pokey, and a Bully, but no signs of Klepto. We hit the Midtown and Toadsworth is there telling us to go through the Toasterina Tower. I believe I've spelt that right in the script, or if I'm even pronouncing that right. I honestly do not care about this area. We managed to get through this little rest area and head to the really sunny desert zone, capturing a Twister, as we head into the tower to read Braille that no blind person would actually be able to read, making it extremely redundant. But does Braille in this universe imply that someone in the Mario world is actually blind? I go to the tower and read all the strange Braille, including finding loss, before gaining access to the lower areas where I can easily solve the ice puzzle because I am a genius. I also capture a Chinchou, not a Minchino or a Chinchu, and at the end of the tower is a battle with Kamek. He was pretty easy, much like the last few times with a team he was testing out for Bowser to use. He gets his own ass kicked afterwards by the civilians. Exiting this area leads us to the bright lights of New Donk City, and the first NPC says, "Skibbity Toadlet." Yep, I'm leaving this place. See you later. After getting on top of a building, we watch Kamek get destroyed by a blue shell, a position that we've all been in before. I went through a host of random buildings, including fighting various trainers, and even found the development team, who we will visit after completing the Tattle Decks and becoming the champion. After defeating Luigi outside of Pauline's gym, because she is the next gym leader, we have to access the sewer system because she flushed her microphone down the drain or something. And because Mario is a plumber, we have to go down, making our way, and being jumped by the loan sharks yet again. But these sharks are still toothless. That was a good line. I wrote that? No way. Going deeper into the sewers and changing the flows of the water, which is surely not good for the city. I've probably flooded someone's Skibbity Toadlet. In the final room, we beat Bowser's minions and Bowser sings a copyrighted song, which luckily I have the audio off for. I play these games with the audio off. Anyone who dares to stop me listening to Charlie XCX while I play these games will find themselves in a 6-foot deep hole. Bowser runs off, dropping the microphone after finishing his performance, then battling his piano with a freaky tongue. Her team is based around steel types, and luckily I have the still quite overpowered Blarg, making this battle quite a lot easier than it really should be. Even her Chain Chomp and Snoozle can't really stand up against the absolute power that is Blarg. Okay, maybe the Bullet Bill can defeat Blarg. That's beside the point. After winning, we get access to the Comet Observatory thanks to an upgrade with our power cart, allowing us to ride the Pseudo Rainbow Road, all because Wario and Waluigi broke the pipe leading to the World 7, the absolute cretins. Thanks to this upgrade to the power cart, I can skip the Comet Observatory for now, returning to the Toad Town sewers, using the new speed upgrade to go over the cracks in the floor tiles and battle the first of 3 legendary dragons, Gloomtail. It took quite a few attempts because this is technically a legendary of the game. We capture it eventually and officially start the Dragon Quest. Wait, say that again? Being a Dragon type means it will be quad weak to Fairy type, so very unhelpful for the next upcoming world and battles, even with it being over our current level cap. We meet the 7-foot tall star mummy and have to go between 2 different warp stars to collect star pieces in order to battle her. These locations have encounters also, meaning I can capture an X-Naut, Luma, Baby Penguin, and even a boss Crystal King. Rosalina obviously has fairy types and a few psychic types brought in there as well. This is where Porcupuff can come in handy, obviously not for the psychic types because it's a poison type, but it ultimately just destroys all these fairies. And I'll tell you what, there's probably something about Rosalina that you would want to destroy as well. I didn't call her the 7-foot tall star mommy for nothing. We defeat Rosalina, get the 7th power star, and unfortunately, not her phone number. Chat, this is El Riz. Incriminating my online footprint aside, before we go to the final area of the game, I found the lost toads that Toadsworth wanted to find in the desert, because I never knew that these patches of sands were sand pits. And I only got a TM for it, but at least I finished a quest. Heading to the Molten Galaxy, Bowser's big ass castle. Battling the Loan Sharks for a final time, and getting the high ground over them on the lava bridge. Getting a nice bit of tech from EGAD in the meantime. The GAD Repel, which is an infinite repel which can be toggled on and off. I sure hope I remember to turn it on rather than thinking my game is glitched later on in the video. I prepped for the long dungeon ahead at the entrance rest stop, and went into a dungeon which confused me for about an hour. This NPC is right, whoever designed this place hates fun. After going room to room back and forth, I finally get the lava shell, allowing me to travel over the lava pools and reach our second rest spot. Even finding some captured toads, and they don't even have a copy of Mario Bros. Free. This is a war crime against your prisoners. This dungeon relies on reaching each of Koopa's comic minions like Goomba and Koopa to open up further areas. Finally getting access to the boss room with the boss key. I thought this was Mario, not Zelda. We battle against Bowser, who is at full power, and this was a very tough battle, made even tougher by glitches. Bonsai Bill uses U-turn into Bowser, sending him in earlier than expected for the game to glitch and crash. Well, that was a pretty detrimental glitch. I hope I don't lose much progress. After another round of the dungeon and remembering to save before Bowser getting another round of Bad Egg, we get a King Boo sweep on the King of Koopa's teams. But Bowser is not done yet, as at the end of the battle, he Mega Evolves into his Mega form from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But that's the only place I know it from. If it's from another Mario game, I don't know. And he does this with the power of all 8 power stars that Luigi has found for him. But after realization that he was being used this whole time, Luigi teams up with me, taking on Bowser one last time. And through the power of what is pretty much a Dynamax battle, I would assume, we managed to take Bowser down, grabbing the final star of my own, opening up the path to Rainbow Road from Toad Town to take on the Mariomon Elite Four. From the Toad Town docks, we reach Toad Hills, and this place has a few interesting houses, including a place to change IVs and natures, and a few places to pick up items for the long road ahead. The long Rainbow Road ahead. Rainbow Road has loads of trainers, wild Pokemon, and even a battle with Luigi to test us before the final challenge of the Elite Four. I went into this battle with a weakened team, but still managed to get past his strong team with the power of Happy Moon. After hitting a few shortcuts in Rainbow Road that require extreme precision, I reached the final battles of the storyline. We can take these on in any order we want, and I picked Toadsworth first, one of the first people we battled in Peach's Castle so long ago. He has dragon types including Momo, Yube, Rex, and 2 T-Rexes. Much like most dragon type trainers, Toadsworth has 2 of the exact same Pokemon. This battle was won with a King Boo setup sweep with Hypnosis and Nasty Plot, and that's how most of these battles are gonna go, just so you know. Next up I battled Kamek. Bowser was invited, but appeared to be in a bit of a sulk since we beat him, so Kamek goes it alone. His method of battle is using fire types, with some really strong ones like Molluskwell and Blarg, also having Angry Sun, Red Yoshi, and battling with himself before we end the battle. Third up is the first gym leader with an improved team of normal types, Princess Peach. Is there an instance where a gym leader becomes an Elite 4 member in the same game? I know Koga becomes an Elite 4 member in Gen 2, but he was a gym leader in Gen 1, so it's not in the same game now, is it? Regardless of that, she has Yoshi and Birdo, a great tag team on Mario Kart Double Dash, the best Mario Kart game, and you can fight me in the comments, I will win. She also has a Hammer Bro, Spindrift, and Shinjo. And the final member of the Elite Four is another man from the start of the game, the crazy inventor Professor Egad. Of course, the man who produced such things like the Poltergeist from Luigi's Mansion has a team of ghost types. He uses the best ghost in the game, King Boo, much like myself, uses also a Twirler, Bruiser, Eerie, and a Mad Piano. I'm not going to do the tongue thing again, that was really cringy. And with that, we've beaten all 4 members of the Elite Four. Now we can just go up to register ourselves as the first champion of the Cap Challenge. But we are shocked to see someone else here. A mysterious figure. It's Mr. L. He got here before us, and we have to defeat him to take the crown and get our wish from the Power Stars. He leads with Major Burrows, who we have to put to sleep and then weaken. But this is something not to mess around with, as it already takes out 2 members of our team before we take it out ourselves, putting us at a team deficit already. Mr. L sends in Peter Piranha, as our starter in King Bob-omb falls before Blarg comes in to defeat the plant, sending in his own Blarg, who we one-shot and level the playing field in this mirror match. We have another copycat of our team as he sends in his own King Boo. After setting up, we can take it out before fainting to a burn, leaving us with just Happy Moon, who, tanky as it is, might not be able to do this alone. Mr. L sends in the Moray Eel, which we do knock out, leading to his final Pokemon being Pyoro, which we also one-shot and defeat Mr. L, and can now stake our claim as the champion of the Cap Challenge. But a shocking twist means Mr. L was Luigi all along! But in a less comical twist is that Luigi did get here first, meaning that he technically beat the Cap Challenge first, also meaning he gets to grant his wish with the Power Star. His wish? Oh, just to go home with his brother. And a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3, of course. Luigi may have got here first, but we beat him, allowing us to register our team into the Hall of Fame. But as you've seen by the video's runtime, we have a lot more to cover in the post-game. As we now start again from our house, we have a lot of things to do to 100% the game, including completing the title decks and cleaning up the quests. After meeting a strange blue blur outside our house, we get access to the Shiny Galaxy, which is now opened up, being able to get some legendaries and starters. Well, if you remember to turn off the GAD repel, unlike I did, where I even updated my game and asked on Reddit because I thought my game was glitched, which is one of the most embarrassing moments in my epic gamer career. Starting with one of the legendaries in the cavern in the Shiny Galaxy, catching Antasma, and within the same cave with the repel off, I found Mr. I and a Bristol. Outside of the cave and the galaxy has many different habitats, like this hill biome housing Virus and a Momo, and with the surfing location in the poison water having a Gushen, a Moray, and the final form of the water starter in Goopa Blooper, which is one of my favourite bosses from Super Mario Sunshine. With fishing, I can also catch the base form being Blooper, the starter me and Luigi both skipped out on. But I could have got a free one from EGAD after beating the league, oops. Speaking of base forms, I went to the ice area and caught a penguin, and in the grass area I caught a Birdo, Snoozorb, and the Grass Starter Piranha Plant. Finishing up the shiny galaxy without a single shiny. What a scam! At least I found a glitch where I can get millions of shiny minions, and that also helps me complete the minion quest. My reward for cleaning out that area with minimal issues, the issue being the rappel, I can now backtrack to catch everything I missed, starting in north of Main Street using strength to capture a Pyoro and a Pidgeot, and going back into Main Street to Ashley's house to find the Duplighost, who has the imposter ability. Dun, 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 dun. To the Toast Tower that I never really remembered the name of in the desert, I captured a Womp, and on Peach's castle grounds, I caught a Thwimp and a Monty Mole. Going back to the ever confusing Bowser's castle for a Chain Chomp, Sumo Bro, Charging Chuck, and a Hand Fake. And then riding on Rainbow Road to capture an EX-Naut and a Yucks. And for the pre-evolved form, I go to Luma Galaxy to get Mini Yucks and the Angry Sun. And now for a mass evolution gauntlet, with Mecha Koopa evolving into Mecha Chomp, one of my many shiny minion into Histocrat,
Luma into Lubba,
Blooper into Bubble Blooper, Pokey into Poison Pokey, Lil Spark into Spark, Piranha Plant into Peewee Piranha, and then into PT Piranha, Cadaquack into Plungelo, Thwimp into Thwomp, Monty Mole into Mega Mole, and then into Major Burrows, Bully to Chill Bully, one Yoshi into Yoob, and the other Yoshis into Yellow, Red, and Blue with their respective shells, and finally Gushin into Mollusquell. That just leaves a bit of quest completion, starting with the 3 dragons beginning going deeper into Gemstone Cave with our new strength powers, well, not really new strength powers, I got them quite a while ago, battling and capturing the second of the 3 dragons in Hooktail. One of the more recognisable dragons, even though I haven't played Paper Mario before. For the final dragon, the quest for Bonetail involves battling the Pit. This is honestly one of the toughest parts of the game, as you have to clear the pit 3 times in a row, and from what I remember, battling the boss at the end with whatever you caught through the challenge. You are able to catch other things in here while you're there, in order to use them to beat the facility, eventually battling a boss, and then we can make it to Bonetail, capturing it and getting a lovely bit of confetti, which did make me feel happy after the pain of the pit. I go back to EGAD as per instructions, and he gives me the Master Ball equivalent. A bit later than I would have expected, but thanks. But with that, EGAD says I have caught all 151, which just isn't true, as I go back to the Shiny Galaxy to capture Exor, the giant sword guy from Mario RPG, but this still leaves one last capture to get. Before getting the last capture, I wanted to get all of the quests finished first, starting with the loose ends of the Gym Leader and Elite Four rematches. These aren't too difficult with King Boo doing its sweeping thing, despite me losing the Elite Four once or twice, and then beating champion Mr. L to complete that series of quests. After this, we have to do a few more battling quests, including Toadsworth in the Trainer School, and the Toadette Battle School, which gets stronger and stronger until she uses a whole team of Ubers. You can use healing items in these battles, which does cheese it a bit, but I want to complete the game. If you want to do it itemless, then be my guest, but this is my playthrough, and I want to get it completed. After meeting Toadsworth in the school, I also helped out a teacher by trading Pyoro for his Birdo, and in Toad Town, if you show a man a Yoshi, you get a whistle to use it like a bike. And also in the Toad Town Mart, I went to the questionnaire on the counter and input the phrase, "It's-a me, Mario!" and got this message. And I input all of the other codes which you can see on screen for a few more interaction with gym leaders and some extra gameplay items. Now we have to get the last capture before battling the developers and getting the Battledex diploma, going to the secret Green Hill Zone and battling against the Blue Blur Sonic the Hedgehog, with him transforming into Supersonic mode, and once we whittle him down enough, we can make the capture. With our decks completed, we head to New Donk City and show the developer our completed decks to get the diploma and also the shiny charm. Very helpful after completing the whole game. Now we can go and battle all of the developers, who are no pushovers at all, with some strong teams and even shinies. But while those play out in the background, I have officially completed Mariomon 100%. And some closing thoughts on this, and it was a brilliant ROM hack. It was really creative, and they need to make a full Nintendo version of this. Imagine areas like Hyrule Field for a battle with Link, or a tiny gym to battle the grass-type Pikmin, or a molten volcano to battle against the legendary Ridley alongside Samus. I mean, they did add Green Hill Zone, but make this whole thing like the Subspace Emissary in Smash Bros. Brawl. Add everyone. Again, this was a brilliant game, and I would highly recommend you download it for yourself after watching this video and leaving it a like, a comment, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Super123, and I will see you all next time.